With us now, Lieutenant Chris Olivarez of the Texas Department of Public Safety. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. And I know you put out that video as well of the Venezuelan flag on the island in Texas. What I'm most interested in is we're looking at this new video, and we've got the video of the chase that you sent us as well, is that these groups are so different than when you and I were on the border together. It's not families coming across begging for help. It is large groups of military-age men, well-organized and well focused to get through your guys' defenses.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Leland. Now it's a different time now. Of course, when you came down at the border, we saw, majority were families. We did see some single adults that were trying to, evade capture, or they would voluntarily, turn themselves into Border Patrol. But right now, especially in Eagle Pass, just in the most recent week, we saw probably one of the largest influxes of illegal immigration between ports of entry. And around the same time, 2 years ago, that's when we had the same situation in Del Rio with the Haitians. But predominantly in these groups, we are seeing middle-aged men, single males, single females that are amongst these groups, very little families that are coming across between the ports of entry. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that if you look back during Title 42, when we were in Brownsville, Texas, same situation. Majority were Venezuelans. We did have some families, but also we had many more single adult males and females that were coming across, and they were being released to the country. So obviously the word gets back to their country, and those that are making the journey to the Texas-Mexico border, that if you do come across and turn yourself in, then you will be released. And that's what we're seeing right now. And I think it's what's causing this influx with single adults, the fact that there is no consequences for these single adults, and they're being released to the country. So as long as that keeps happening, we're going to continue seeing this influx of people coming across the border.
And I'm correct in saying that the more who come across, the harder it is to detain them and send them back. It sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Latest Southwest border encounters: Sunday, nearly 11,000, Monday, 9,000, Tuesday, 11,000. You put that together, that's a Major League Baseball stadium in 3 days of people coming through. That's the ones we know about. We always have to talk about the ones we don't know about. Is it possible that we have all of these groups of military-age men, single men, coming across at one specific point with train loads of them behind them without that being planned?
Well, this is very coordinated. And one thing to keep in mind, of course, this is all orchestrated by criminal organizations in Mexico. They saturate areas along the border by sending large groups of illegal immigrants, whether it be in Texas or Arizona, and that depletes resources. We're seeing what's happening in Eagle Pass for now in real time. Border Patrol agents are being pulled from the line to process this large influx of illegal immigrants. And with that, you have other gaps that are exposed along the border. We've talked about this many times, even when you first came down, how that's always been a concern, especially when we talked about threats to public safety and national security. But even more so now that you have these large number of people that are coming across daily across the border, and there's not enough resources to patrol those areas along the river, or even areas that are not being checkpoints as well, or even highways that are used for human smuggling. That's what we're trying to do right now with our state troopers, is focus on those areas where we see criminal activity while Border Patrol is processing these individuals, because that's where the real threats lie. You see in that video, we see an increase in human smuggling because, of course, organizations take full advantage of that. They exploit that. They use that to their advantage when they can tie up resources and then bring across criminals and, of course, increase smuggling or drugs or even fentanyl that's coming across while no one's patrolling those areas.
Yeah, and also the large group of Chinese as well that we've been hearing that have come across. Some with ties back to the Communist Party there, some with the People's Liberation Army, other with Chinese intelligence that I know you guys have intercepted. Lieutenant, good to see you, sir. Thank you as always.
Always a pleasure, Leland. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.